Carrie-Anne Moss fans, get Carrie-Anne lost because she gone.
Yeah, I have a weird feeling Chimere might end up being Darth Plagueis the Wise.
I volunteer. I will be the Sith woman. I will do it.
What's poppin', Palaxy? Today on the Bounty Board, we talk all about The Acolyte episodes 1 and 2. So let's get it, y'all. Kick up that warp drive and let's punch this thing. Welcome back to the Guardians of the Palaxy podcast, everybody. We're so glad that you're here. My name is MT, and I'm here today with my wonderful friends, Tommy Bechtold and Whitney Van Laningham. What's going on, gang?
Hi.
Oh boy, what a world. What a treat we have. The Acolyte, baby. I cannot.
Yes.
I have been just dying to talk to you guys about this since my double feature the other day. This is so much fun. I feel like we're so fucking back with Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the hard part about kind of taking a couple days to digest when we're so excited to talk about it is like you got to bat away really ridiculous criticism of which I'm sure we'll get into here.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
It's much like when COVID-19 happened and when all of our former president's tax issues happened. A lot of experts on how the powers of the Force work. A lot of experts on how the Force, which has been a kind of nebulous, shifting power set since its introduction in a galaxy far, far away in 1977, has suddenly got like stone cold brass tacks terms to it that a lot of shockingly white men are upset that are not they feel like they've been used unfairly in this show. But enough with the haters. Let's get to the celebrators. I absolutely adored this show. The first two episodes.
Yes.
I couldn't be more excited. I don't think it's the next Andor. I think it's a completely different thing on its own.
Totally
I think it
different.
feels almost like a brightly colored noir version of the Skywalker saga to me. It's got the whimsical woodwind score of the Skywalker saga, but it's also got I think we ain't seen nothing yet in terms of the brutality and murder and duplicitousness. I can't wait to get into all of this with you. But guys, one thing I've noticed is this is a show that I think Kim Horcher put it really well. She said it's not a whodunit, it's a why-done-it. It's a why-done-it.
I was going to say it's like Star Wars fucked Columbo.
Yes.
That's how I feel when I'm watching this, baby. It's Star Wars in a little trench coat. It's a lightsaber inside a trench coat, and it's solving some mysteries.
By the way, if you guys still have video stores in your hometowns, rent Star Wars fucks Columbo this weekend. It is.
it's a magical.
It is 90 minutes of Columbo saying, and just one more thing, and then whipping out his cock.
I genuinely love this show. I think that it is such a cool look into just a new era of Star Wars that it's just not really burdened by the Skywalker saga. And I'm sure that we're going to get a reference to some key Skywalker saga setup characters, because this is a prequel set 130 something years in the past. We are going to probably get a Darth Plagueis or whatever in there. But for the most part, it is just a standalone mystery, a why-done-it, and that it is likely going to, sort of expose the hypocrisy of the Jedi.
Yes.
Which I'm so down for, because the Force is just such a big generalized thing that I feel like nailing it down to one specific religion or cult doesn't really do the Force justice. And up until this point, we've only gotten the Jedi perspective of the Force, which, is just built by human beings. It's not yes, it's pretty accurate, but it's not 100% what the Force is, because it's just perspective. It's just one religion.
Something that I think is really interesting about the Force in general. Most people know this. If you don't, surprise, I'm mentally ill. I have borderline personality disorder. And interestingly, I read a study a while back that some doctors actually diagnosed Anakin with BPD because the whole thing about BPD is that you don't really see gray areas, and it's not intentional. Nobody chooses this. I'm not doing it on purpose, but you see black and white when you are making decisions. You see this is good, this is evil, and you don't really see the gray area when you have BPD. And I do think that a lot of the stuff that we saw in the prequels was a lot of Anakin's perspective of the dark. And then in, the originals, we saw a lot of Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan and Yoda's idea of the light. And I really think that this series is finally giving us the treatment for Darth Vader's BPD, which is learning to see the gray areas within the Force, because even though there's a whole gray Jedi thing, that's not what I'm talking about. That's different. This is actually looking at the Force from an objective standpoint and not from, oh, the good guys are the light guys and the bad guys are the dark side. It's looking at it and going, okay, but nobody, they have reasons for doing these things. The Jedi can be hypocrites. The bad guys can have good in them. Like when, like at the end when Vader's like, now go, my son. It turned out that he did still have good left in him, and I think that it's really, really interesting that they're finally giving us like the zoomed out version of like, hey, you're not getting just a good guy's opinion or just a bad guy's opinion. There's no real clear side to root for. For the first time, we're questioning the morals and the motives of these Jedi, like beyond just the normal. This is like, did they kill an entire village? Holy shit. Like, what is going on?
Well,
like,
that's the thing. I want to get to more of that.
Yeah.
Like that. That's part of the theory that I think that I think we're all kind of on the same boat of like, it does feel like the Jedi found two Force-sensitive twins and were like, one is predisposed to the dark side, one is predisposed to the light side. Let's kill their whole family and train them separately, thinking the other one is dead by using some sort of like Force blocking in each other's brains, or just, having them believe turning off the other person out of grief or whatever. Grief can be a great blinder. I do want to start talking about the episodes though individually.
Yeah.
We're not going to go blow by blow, but I do want to say, Carrie-Ann Moss fans, get Carrie-Ann lost because she gone.
Get
She
Carrie
gone.
lost.
She gone. But that was an
Movies are
incredible
pretty
scene.
much
We get to
the
basically
info.
see her go Trinity style from the Matrix. She was just short of doing the
Bro,
hand
like
thing.
that move of her going from the lower level to the top level was like,
Yes.
woo!
She
Matrix
was
feels.
awesome. I believe that, as this is a mystery, we will certainly probably see, we will certainly see her in flashbacks. I have to believe. I think we're going to probably, as we get closer, this is almost like True Detective. It's like as we get closer and closer to the finale, we're going to see exactly what those four Jedis did on that planet. And I also think within the Jedi, within Indara and what was it, Torben and the Wookiee,
Jedi,
and of course Soul. I think there were differing levels of their knowledge of what would happen that night, because it does seem to me like Soul genuinely thinks that fire was set by May or something like that. Like, it doesn't seem to me like he knows that May was either alive, or maybe he knew she was alive, but did think that she was like evil and was the cause of it. Anyway, so May confronts Indara, played by Carrie-Ann Moss, and this is one of those things about these Star Wars television shows that we don't realize is like the guest stars that are listed, or the actors that are listed in the Variety article launching the series, are not guaranteed to be giant parts of the series. Like Carrie-Ann Moss, of course, when we saw her casting notice, we're very excited she's going to play a Jedi, and it's like, yeah. I mean, we only got O'Shea Jackson and Maya Erskine in Obi-Wan for an episode and a half,
Yeah.
Or Christopher Lloyd was in one episode of Mandalorian.
We only got Lizzo and Jack Black for one episode. Come on.
Right. Well, I mean, and for some, that was one episode too many. Haters on the internet, not me, of course. But then, even what's his name, crazy guy that I love, Werner Herzog.
Yes.
He was basically in 1.5 episodes of Mandalorian. So I absolutely love the establishment of the mystery opening with the murder of Indara, and then the immediate snap to this same person again before you realize it's two different people. I'm like,
yeah,
wait, what the hell? And then I started to think does this girl have multiple personality disorder?
Dude, I thought, oh my God, yes. I was like, do we have a Moon Knight on our hands here, people? Do we have a baby Moon Knight?
I know it's not called multiple personality disorder. It's I apologize.
Dissociative identity disorder.
Yes, I
Don't
apologize
worry, I got you.
Thank you. I know I was not calling it by the correct thing, and it was not out of malice. It was out of me being dumb. So anyway, and that kind of gets us launched in our first. A theme of the first two episodes is Osha being confused for May when May commits crimes. Like in both episodes, she's pointed to literally by people saying that's the person who did it. And in both episodes, she's thankfully exonerated. And ultimately that leads to the discovery that May and everyone's belief and understanding that May is alive. Like this girl thought dead for in a terrible accident. I mean, Osha believes her entire family was killed on her home planet, and that's why she joined the Jedi Order. And then, like many people, came to her own conclusion that the Jedi Order wasn't for her, and she left to become a mechanic on a Trade Federation ship, it looks like, I guess.
Yeah. Putting out fires in space.
Yes.
Not all those space fires, baby.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I love the tears of complaining were like, how did they not know each other were alive? What's with all these cultural haircuts going on in Star Wars? Why, like, would they have these modern or whatever, blah, blah, blah haircuts? And then finally, after all those things were just debunked and hated on, why is there fire in space? Like,
because it's cool. Because it's fucking cool. That's why.
Why are there lasers? Because I want them to be. Who cares? It's your little space cowboy show. Why don't you stop crying? Go watch Blue Bloods, honestly. If you can't handle this, go watch Tom Selleck and Donnie Wahlberg take down crime in the streets of New York, all right?
True.
Watch Blue Bloods. Keep CBS on. Watch Pat Sajak's last episode of Wheel of Fortune. Stay the fuck out of Star Wars.
Yeah, get the fuck out of Star Wars, man. Like, what?
From you now. I get you.
There's fires in space because it's cool. That's literally the rule of cool from D&D. They know that there's no fires in space.
It's literally the core of Star Wars. Like, when the Death Star exploded the first time, there was fire in space. So
there was fire in space.
Yeah. Alderaan exploded into, I think, some fire, right? The entire
there was some fire there.
Yes.
Yeah, and everyone, thousands of voices cried out in pain and were suddenly silenced.
Thousands of voices, more like millions. Why are we whitewashing what happened there? You know, there was at least.
I'm sorry, I meant millions. I misspoke. Now I'm the dumb.
I was believing you. That was the quote. Look at me. Look at me, the follower. Raise lions, not sheep. Am I right, guys? We get to meet some of our new Jedi friends. We get Yord. I know there's a lot of Yord hoarders out there. I am not in the Yord horde. I find him obnoxious. I think Yord is a cop.
I'm really interested in the character of Yord.
Me too, because I think they're purposely making him like a wet blanket. So it's like, what is that for?
But like, I really enjoy like how he's like a very fearful Jedi, because like he's
our first OCD Jedi, and I don't mean that as a knock on OCD, but he's literally seems obsessive compulsive.
Being a guardian of like the Jedi Temple, like, which is why like he has the yellow lightsaber. Like he takes his responsibility of like being a guardian way too seriously, to the point where like he's afraid of like everything. Not everything, but he's a very skittish Jedi. Like he's always got his hand on like his lightsaber like a cop. Like I was like, oh man, like I'm ready to shoot. And like that is like one of the biggest problems of the Jedi. It's like they grew too fearful of, whatever Phantom Menace was out there. So like, yeah, I'm very interested to see like how he's going to end up with that character flaw. Because like usually in Star Wars, if you don't confront your fear, it usually leads to your downfall.
It's gonna fuck you and all your homies over, bro. You gotta confront those fears.
I was gonna say, as Outcast says so brilliantly in Bombs Over Baghdad, don't pull that thing out unless you plan to bang. And Jedis do not pull their lightsabers out unless they plan to kill. And furthermore, don't even bang unless you plan to hit something. So don't pull that lightsaber out just to spin it around doing gymnastics. You better
don't use your lightsaber as a flashlight, Yord. Get an iPhone. Jesus.
Yeah, Yord's using it as a torch. The actor, Charlie Barnett, he's doing a fabulous job of playing that character as the person who is by the book, the person who is fearful of playing by the rules, is married to the concept of law and order, and it is very difficult. I mean, so much to the fact that even though it would make his life easier and soothe some of his concerns if he just let Osha be brought in for the murder of Torben, he exonerates her because it's the right thing to do. He comes in, this is in episode 2, he comes in and says, I saw her, she did not kill him, he was already dead before she got here, blah, blah, blah. So from the first episode, we get this connection between Sol, who is that fabulous actor from Squid Game, who learned English to play this role.
Dude,
incredible.
And he sounds amazing.
He's fabulous.
Like, his acting is just so goddamn good.
A lot of great performances in this show.
Oh my God. That's like the other thing, seriously, is that the haters are missing out on some fucking top-notch acting, top-notch writing, really good dialogue. Like, a lot of Star Wars can get kind of cheesy sometimes. I've just been fully invested in the world this time. Like, I'm all in. Space fires or not, baby, I'm there.
And we don't have a ton of High Republic footage. You know, that's mostly in novels and extended universe, now legends, you know, novelizations and comics and stuff like that, and video games. So it's like we're getting live action High Republic, and the world is so, for lack of a more eloquent way to put it, it's so Star Warsy. It's so cool. We've got gruff old, you know, leathery aliens that have little baby aliens of the same species hugging their leg. It's all the stuff you love about Star Wars. All the little, you know, kind of cute details and fun
100% of the little guys are good. Like, there are so many good, solid little guys in this show. And you guys know me. You know I love a little guy.
Yeah.
I just want weird little guys everywhere, and there are so many.
Even Osha has her little, like, what's his name?
Yeah,
Pip.
Pip was super cute.
It's her Blackberry.
Yeah. I need a Pip. I need a Pip in my life fast. But
this is like our second show with a little Pip boy in it.
I know.
It's a Pip Boy show.
It's a Pip Boy summer.
It's a Pip Boy summer. Yes. That is so much better than whatever Chet Hanks has going on.
We should put that. We should put that out. We should put that song out. Pip Boy summer. So because they came out kind of in tandem, the first and second episode, it's kind of hard to discuss them separately. I think our best course of action would be just to roll in and kind of discuss both episodes and then give our predictions afterwards. I can't wait to do that, but I have to wait because we have an incredible sponsor this week.
We sure do. When we sent out the call to Gondor and they came back with advertisers, we said there can only be one company to kick off the Acolyte breakdowns on this channel. Sorry, not breakdowns, whatever, discussions. There was only one sponsor that came to mind, and let me tell you who they are. Where are my dice? Oh,
I mean,
right
we all know who they are. We're just slowly remembering.
We're all just slowly.
I'm just building the anticipation. We all know who it is. They've signed us. Patient. They've all signed our checks. We're rolling in all Benjamins. That's why I'm wearing such beautiful silken wares. Okay, 4. Solar. Ooh, let's go Star Wars.
Solar
therapy. Solar therapy.
Solar therapy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Thomas Sun, and I want to bring to you today a very special program. It's called Dr. Sun's Solar Therapy. Now, of course, my last name is spelled S-O-N, as in male child of 2 parents. But my solar therapy is based on the S-U-N, sun, which is, of course, the giant star which powers our universe.
You used to be the Teletubbies baby, correct?
I spent the first 35 years of my life imprisoned in the sun as the Teletubbies baby son. But then I escaped. I broke free when I was 36, 3 years after Jesus Christ was crucified. I lasted another 3 behind Jesus. And I said, it's time to therapize this world. How does sun solar therapy work? Step 1, get on the sun, fucker. Step 2, roll around in that sun, fucker. Step 3, shower off. That's it. Solar therapy, 3 steps. Sunscreen, more like sunscream. But don't talk to me. Talk to my prized patients, Priscilla and Benjamin. Oh, boys and girls.
Listen, I used to be white before solar therapy, but after months and months of nonstop therapy, I turned brown. And that's how you can tell I'm so happy with my therapy. Constant tanning, and I've never been happier. I've delved into my relationship with my parents, and my God, I learned a lot.
A lot of people don't know this, but Benjamin used to be the Orville Redenbacher model. Now he's the Uncle Ben's Rice model. It's incredible. He's shifted programs.
It's true.
Priscilla, tell them about your journey.
I can't stop laughing to follow up. I'm sorry. That was 17 years.
All right, if you want to use the solar therapy, get a discount today with code Fuck the moon for 50% off. Dr. Sun's solar therapy. It'll burn you.
One day we're going to get NASA to go to the sun, all right? Enough of this moon bias. Yes. We're going to the sun.
So, MT, I'm interested in your thoughts of how episode 1 introduced us to this world, and then how episode 2 kind of hammered home the mystery. What did you love? What did you really love? What did you like?
Like, first of all, like, I really love how this series is all about like dualities, man. Like from the jump, like when we first meet May when she's fighting with Indara. Like when I saw like the tattoo on her face, I was like, oh man, that's a whole yin yang symbol. This whole series is about to be about dualities. And then we jump into Osha and learning more about her and like how, you know, very much like May and Osha are very like very opposite people. Like May is, you know, a dark-sided person that loves using the Force, whereas Osha seems like very reluctant to use the Force. And like, you know, when we see her like trying to escape crashing that ship, she tries to reach out into the Force, but she can't do it because of some type of Force block that is likely due to her connected to her hesitation to reach out into the Force. So like, it's so interesting to see like this narrative told from both their perspectives rather than like, you know, a good guy perspective and like, you know, wondering what the bad guys are up to.
Hell yeah, we totally agree on this, man. You're speaking words that I'm thinking in my brain. Oh, I love this too. Yes.
And one of my favorite characters of the series is Chimere, played by Mr. Goodplace himself, Manny Jacinto.
Yes.
Oh my god, Brett and I fucking for a second just like forgot the actor's name, so we've just been calling him Blake Bortles because of the good.
Yes, Manny Jacinto.
Manny Jacinto. Yes. I remembered his name since then, but I still want to call him Blake Bortles just for fun.
I think Chimere is playing possum. I think he's being such a goofball. I think he might be 10 times more evil than May. I think he may be 100%. I think he may be pure evil.
He was the one who was like, you can't just like kill him. You have to kill the dream.
Right.
Like that fucked me up so bad because it was like, I mean, it was the best advice to kill that guy, obviously. He basically was just like, yeah, you can't kill him, but have you thought about making him kill himself because of his own grief? And I was like, bro, that is so fucked up. Like that is so fucked up to encourage someone to do. I think he is like secretly the evil mastermind for sure. And also what leads me to believe that is that obviously before Osha spoke, he assumed she was May and was like, oh, cool. Did killing the guy with the specific poison I gave you work? And then he was like, I don't know what you're talking about later. But and then as soon as she spoke, he was like, you look just like her. And I don't think that just a casual asshole who's like a drunk, goofy guy making potions for his friends, I don't think that guy would be as observant to be able to tell that it wasn't her with one word. Because like that guy was drunk earlier, wasn't he? He was like drinking on the job a little bit.
I think it all might be an act. I think everything.
I think it's an act too, yes.
I think he's playing May as well. I think he's using May as a pawn.
Yes, I agree.
But he's making her feel like she's got the upper hand on him. She's the more seasoned, you know, Force apprentice or whatever, and he's just the goofy drunk guy who goes on the missions with her or whatever. So,
and he's the one who's technically supplying her with her dream, but is working to kill her dream as well. Right. That's what I think. And I know that the dream isn't like, I dream of being Taylor Swift one day. I know that it means like, you know, killing their like insides and ambitions and what they strive for and what they want and what they love and what they fear and what they hate. And he wants them to manipulate all of those things for these people. But that's exactly what he's doing to May. Yes.
Now,
oh man.
MT, you on Twitter had a pretty specific theory about who this character might be.
Oh, who the mask character you mean?
Yeah, no, who Chimere was, right? Didn't you think that he?
I have a weird feeling that Chimere might end up being Darth Plagueis the Wise, because like when we first meet him, like we were just talking about how like he's the one who basically told May how to defeat what's his name?
Torben.
I think it's Tiberius. Torben. There we go.
Yeah.
Torben Blue. Mr.
Torben
Blue. But because like, he specifically thought about what exactly Torben was suffering with. And like someone with that like amount of like, I don't know, like wisdom in like, you know, mastery of like fear or mastery of like, you know, guilt or manipulation is probably really good at like, I don't know, dark-sided type stuff. And like when May tried to kill him at the very end of episode 2, he sort of dodged that shit like without even looking at her. Like he was like, she sliced him. He was like, whoops. And it was like, because I feel like he used the Force because like he sort of felt it coming. But also like, you know, when we first meet him, like he's kind of like a sleepy dude. And like in the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, Palpatine kills his master in his sleep. So like, I don't know. I mean, obviously that's just like a weird, because everyone can be sleepy. It doesn't mean that you're automatically Plagueis. Like,
nah, dog. Darth Plagueis is known as the Nap Lord and the Sith Lord, and he's the number one Nap Lord in space.
I like to think that he had a sleeping cap and like a little candle.
Yeah, and he was going honk, shoo, 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 honk, shoo,
I'm going to bed, Palpatine. Good night.
That was my thing. Was he was so goofy? I was like, this guy's got to have a bigger, darker secret. Right. Like, it's like, I don't know. I mean, like, obviously there have been many broad, goofy characters in Star Wars. That's not like a no-no in that universe, but like not in the role of, you know, basically accomplice to the murderer, a Jedi assassin, right? Like, which is, you know, even at face value, what we take him as. So, yeah, I loved that character. I also loved Daphne Keen's character, right? She's the one in all the makeup, right? That's Jackie. Daphne Keen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jackie. I think that she's super great, but I feel like she's gonna die like real soon.
You think Jackie's going to Hecky?
I feel like Jackie, I mean, not to like, you know, fridge like a really great, like a cool looking character, but like it just seems like Jackie was made to be the sacrificial lamb so that Saul could be extra protective of Osha, because like that's his like original Padawan, and like that's essentially his daughter type figure. Like he's like very emotionally attached to her. So like him losing his current Padawan, just be like, oh my God, like I'm now afraid of this, you know, masked person that's going to take, you know, Osha away from me, and that's going to challenge his own attachment to Osha, which is like, you know, what we, you know, when we first meet Saul, Vernestra's just like, oh, I didn't realize that you were so attached to this wanted criminal who I don't trust Vernestra at all. That green bean is up to something.
Yeah.
Like the green bean is going down, baby. The green bean is evil as hell. There's no way.
And
they were
so close to Ventress. It just sounds so close to Ventress.
It's just Ventress painted green.
What if Vernestra becomes an Inquisitor?
Like what if?
I mean, like it is a little bit too early, but like she is like 100 years old.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, listen. So Yoda's like 1,000 years old. Here's my thing with the Jedis: we need to have a Jedi that lives like the lifespan of a fruit fly. Like there's a Jedi that only lives 14 days. This species only lives 14 days, so they got to train him real fast, and then he dies of old age.
I'm pretty sure one of those dudes that went with Mace Windu to fight Palpatine had the lifespan of a fruit fly.
That's true.
Immediately killed.
That's true.
Real though.
But yeah, no, like I have a feeling that, you know, because of this like duality narrative, and because we know that like Osha may have two mothers, I don't know. I feel like the masked person is going to end up being one of these mothers, man. I don't know why, but like it just feels like, you know, Star Wars is like this whole like Luke, I am your father type of like family narrative.
Yeah, you gotta have a secret parent out there somewhere. Everyone does. Right. Everyone's doing it. All the cool kids are doing it. Like you gotta be a twin. You gotta be too old to start Jedi training, and you gotta find your mom or dad in the far reaches of space.
Exactly. Right. And like it just seems like, I don't know, this would be a really great narrative to introduce like I don't know, like a really great like Sith woman, because we don't really have any Sith women.
I volunteer. I will be the Sith woman. I will do it.
I volunteer as Sith woman.
I volunteer as Sith tribute.
I think it'd be really cool if we had like a really great female villain. It would also be cool if Chimere was the masked man. It'd be a nice little like badass twist of like, yes, it was me all along. I was the master. Who knows? It's still very early. It's only 2 episodes in. So anything could really happen.
Anything could really happen, which brings us to the perfect moment to make our predictions for episode 3. We've got episode 3. We'll be recording in just a few days. So why don't we each make a quick prediction and then we'll get the heck on out of here.
All right. I think it's also going to be, in addition to Columbo, it's going to be Lindsay Lohan and Lindsay Lohan, baby.
Ooh.
Like Tommy said earlier, I think they're going to find out that they were separated on purpose, like something like that. And I think that the two Mays are going to have to come together and make their new Jedi Master's very young 26-year-old girlfriend uncomfortable. That's their goal. They're going to drag her out into the middle of a lake. They're going to shove a lizard in her mouth. That's what's happening.
I was a Haley Mills Parent Trap guy. Never saw the Lohan one. So
I love Haley Mills and Haley Mills, baby.
Yes.
Give me Haley Mills and Haley Mills all
Lindsay
day.
Lohan
Breaking
only.
up the mess with togetherness. Togetherness. The Parent Trap. I like that. I like the idea of a Parent Trap. My prediction is going to be that Soul is going to uncover that Indara and Torben left him out of 50% of what happened on the planet. And also I think Kalnaka, the Wookiee Jedi, just based on the fact that they got the guy who played Chewbacca in the movies to play Kalnaka, I feel like he's not going to be a one and done. I think it's split in two. I think Torben and Indara plotted while Soul and Kalnaka executed, not literally, but executed what their orders of what they were told. And I think I think eventually Kalnaka will be pulled into the mystery as well, rather than assassinated by May.
It's going to be sick to watch May have to fight like the
Wookiee Jedi.
Yes. like he's the goddamn cocaine bear in space. Cannot wait. It's going to be so fun.
Let me see if I can call my guy to get one more bag.
No, like I feel like we're going to probably see May and Osha like reunite again, because after that like awkward like I miss you on purpose type of like ending with Osha missing those stun gun shots.
And set to stun. I mean, she set the gun to stun anyway, so she wasn't
right.
Just stunning, baby.
And like,
sorry, I just went Star Trek on you guys because I'm wearing my Star Trek Starfleet Academy watch.
Oh, I didn't know you graduated from Starfleet. My bad.
Yeah, bro. I have admiral status now. Anyway.
Oh shit, Admiral Bechtold. I was still calling you Pastor Bechtold.
Has a really great ring to it. But no, I May seemed really upset and like surprised to see Osha.
Yes,
and like that is going to be really interesting to explore.
Well, and also, how do you create a someone who is fanatical? Is you turn them off of all other pathways. So they convinced May that her whole family was dead, including her sister, and the Jedis were the ones who killed her sister. I mean, clearly May believes the Jedi's killed her sister up until the point where she sees her alive. But not only does she see her alive, she now sees her with the Jedis.
Yeah.
Right.
And and I'm dying to know what they told May about Osha, because we only know what Osha thought May was dead. But what did they tell May? Like, did they tell her that Osha started the fire?
Exactly.
Like, did they blame the other one for each of them? So that even if they do meet up, they both like harbor this insane resentment towards each other because they think that each other's the killer. Like, I don't know.
I really feel like this is True Detective set in Star Wars.
I'm so excited. I love mysteries.
It's maybe not as like dark as True Detective. There's not a lot of child murder, but there's at least there's pretend child murder because both of these girls think that they're.
I'm writing Kathleen Kennedy right now because there's not enough child murder like Order 66. That's terrible.
I always say once you're too woke to kill a child, you're too woke to get my money. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for joining us today on another classic Guardians of the Palaxy. We want to thank our sponsor, Dr. Sun Solar Therapy. I want to thank my two best friends, MT and Whitney, for joining me on this galactic ride throughout the Palaxy. Couldn't do it without you. And remember, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. We are so close to 10,000 subscribers. And when we get to 10,000, we're all getting matching tattoos. It's going to be great. Mine's going to go on my face.
Mine's also going to go on my face. It's just going to be MT and Tommy on my face, your portrait style, baby, but done by a drunk guy in Las Vegas so that it's
Bingo Bango.
That's what I want.
His name is Bingo Bango.
His name is Bingo Bango.
Sorry, MT.
No, I didn't say anything. Never mind. Ha.
MT's gonna get us our faces on his ass.
I said I'm going to tattoo mine on the scrotum. But
Yes!
No, that sounds horrible.
Thanks so much, everybody. Take care of your pals. Can't wait to see that scrot tat, MT, and Whitney. We'll go to see Bingo Bango to get our face tattoos.
Dude, let's go.
Love your pals. Be good to your pals. Hug your pals. Give your pals a high five. Do whatever it takes to make sure your pals are okay. Adieu.
We love you. Bye.